I had a master's degree in the second language education, which is a master in McGill. One of our job is to observe. We went to the classrooms of the public schools, private schools, primary schools or secondary schools, mixed schools or single gender schools, all kinds of schools. We observed the classrooms. So I marvel at the wonderfulness of these classrooms. So we just introduce you. How could your children become social elite of North America? First of all, something about Montreal. We have heard Toronto, we have heard Vancouver, but we never hear Montreal. Montreal is actually the most habitable city in the world, according to OECD. Okay, according to OECD, never fall behind the number 5. Always number 1, number 2. Okay, so Montreal is the largest bilingual city, which is very, very, very important for education. It's a bilingual city. What does it mean? It means in Montreal, almost all residents, they could speak English and French as mother tongue. That's why Justin Trudeau won the campaign and become re-elected the prime minister, because he speaks French, and his opponent Andrew speaks English. And in Quebec debate, Trudeau won. That's why over the 40 years since 1970s, 7 out of 10 prime ministers of Canada came from Quebec. Most of them received basic education in Montreal. And for immigration like us, okay, like me, my older son speaks English, French, Chinese, and a little bit Spanish. He is 4 years old. He knows which language he should speak to different people. To his grandmother, only Chinese. To me, any language, except the Spanish. To his mother, English and Chinese. There are many high school graduates, if they speak 4 or even 5 languages, don't be surprised, that's normal. That's normal. I will show you a video, okay? I'll show you a video, just to make you know how these kids are. So that's why it's the best study city in the world. And as I said, so many prime ministers, so many lawyers, the doctors, so many ministers, they all came from Montreal, okay? If you want to have good jobs in federal government, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a doctor, you want to be social elite, you have to speak French. In Ottawa, when these ministers, they have a party, they will speak French. Okay, like in a big international companies, if the high position managers are from Hong Kong, in the private parties, which language do they speak? They speak Cantonese. So I just show you a video I took myself. 5 minutes, a few children, primary children, secondary children. I just want you to feel how they look like.
Well, it's a great school for studying. And ours in 6th grade, I'm pretty sure it's like 50% English and French, or 60% English and 40%. Aussi, nous avons fait comme une présentation de photos dans 1905.
我今年13岁，我在初中2年级。Alors, je suis venue à Québec parce qu'il y a beaucoup d'opportunités à cette école, parce que c'est classé comme une des meilleures écoles ici à Montréal. So here at the school, I chose the international profile because, well, I learned Spanish and there's IB classes. In IB classes this year we do drama class, and I find it really helpful with Spanish.
你好，我叫安安，我是从郑州来的。I really like the school because it's very interesting. The teachers are all very nice, and the students are very. We are not very competitive with each other, so we make friends really quickly, and we help each other with our homework, exams, all sorts of things.
Aujourd'hui, mais cette expérience nous démontre l'électricité statique.
Mais puisqu'aujourd'hui il fait trop humide, la machine ne marche pas très bien. Mais habituellement, vous savez, vous voyez que les trucs blanches ici, ça descend en bas, ça arrache les électrons, et qui est chargé négativement, puis quand ça remonte, ça va charger la boule négativement. Et si on approche un objet chargé négativement et un autre objet chargé négativement, ça va se repousser.
我的名字是刘春，je vais au collège Jean de Bébeuf. I am part of the Latin program. It's my 4th year here. Je fais de la grammaire, civilisation latine. 这个学校对我来说是一个我很大的一部分，就是我觉得很好。Because I get to learn a lot of stuff here, especially in Latin. The grammar aspect helps me in French. En français, il y a des notions assez difficiles. Le latin, ça m'aide vraiment. La civilisation, ça me passionne.
我叫 Simon， 我现在中学5年级，然后我在 IB 班。我觉得学校还不错，因为有很多 activity 可以做。Bonjour, je m'appelle Simon Chen, je suis en secondaire 5. Je suis en profil IB et nous apprenons l'espagnol depuis secondaire 1 à 4. Hello, my name is Simon Chen. I'm in secondary 5 in the international profile. You learn Spanish from secondary 1 to 4. I like Brebeuf because there are a lot of activities and the teachers help you during your schoolwork. Hola, me llamo Simón, soy en secundario 5 y soy en el profil de IB.
My name is Terry. I'm 17 years old this year. I'm in pre-U, which is grade 12 at LCC. Je vais à l'école LCC, Lower Canada College, ici à Montréal. On est une école bilingue, anglais et français, et on a le diplôme IB. 在 LCC 我们有个专门的部门，为了帮你选大学和帮你申请大学，或者是在英国、在美国或者在加拿大，他们都有人会来帮你的。Oui, je pense, quand on parle français, on a des nouveaux opportunités dans la vie, pas juste dans l'école, mais dans tous les aspects de la vie. On peut aller à plus de pays, on peut apprendre des nouvelles cultures. 我觉得为你读书在蒙特利尔，你有一个不一样的叫 experience， 跟那些另外一些的高中在加拿大，因为大部分的人在蒙特利尔或者在魁北克都是说法语的，你会跟不一样的人交流，然后呢，那个文化会真的很不一样，跟另外一些地方在加拿大。我觉得一个最大的优势，为你会说法语是你会认识不一样的人。因为我觉得你在future 你会需要弄很多他们叫 connection 在美国，因为你要知道最多的人你可以知道，为了你可以有不一样的道路你可以走。
Your kid is going to do an exam when he starts here in the school, and then they're going to see if he's good enough to be in Enrich or in regular. I'm in Enrich because I was in a program at my school before, but if you do it Enrich, well, you have a class with only Enrich students, and then you can speak fluently in English. À l'école, Mont-Saint-Louis, c'est vraiment une école francophone aussi, donc on a des cours de français tous les jours, on a aussi les jours où on a 2 cours de français, donc c'est vraiment comme très francophone, mais on a quand même de l'anglais 1 fois sur 2.
你们可以来这个学校的时候，有一些 try out， 然后 try out 里面你打得好的时候可以打上，然后it's easy. Put in hard work and then succeed. Mais les pratiques, il y a 3 jours par semaine et c'est ça.
As you can saw, this is the video I made myself. So every September and August, I would go to these elite colleges, the private colleges. I will ask student questions. Sometimes the student have to respond to my question in the same language I'm asking, except the Spanish. Okay, so I cut my part out. I just keep their part, and you see this. This is a very example of how the students in Montreal look like. It's very normal. We have dig out so many data, and we have a long list of successful people. I just give you only a part of it. So you can see these people, okay? You can see Pierre Trudeau, the 5th Canadian Prime Minister, and his son, Justin Trudeau, re-elected right now. Okay? So this his older brother, younger brother, all in the same college, in the same high school, which is the best high school in Canada, which is called École Jean de Brébeuf. It's very, very well. You had just seen a few students in the video. They came from the school of this family. So this family would prefer, and also Justin Trudeau aussi. I speak French. So he has put his two daughters in the same school he was studying. That also the college Jean de Brébeuf. So the family will be registered in the same school. So what if our children could go to that school? So we will have connections at that student set. We have connections, which is very important in North America. We have students whose father is Prime Minister, whose father is as a Minister of Justice. That's incredible, right? So we have right now, Julie Payette. She is right now the incumbent governor. We have Prime Minister Philippe Couillard. We have Moshe Sapid. We have Steven Pinker. We have all this, the Irving Cutler. We have all this, the Attorney General. We have John McCollum. All right, we have John McCollum. We have Nobel Prize winner. These people in different fields, they have one thing in common. They received fundamental education in Montreal. So all of them speak at least English and French. Some of them will speak their language of origin. Our plan, that's what service we offer. We know that sometimes it could be hard for you to make decision to live in Canada, to live in Montreal, which is a little bit different from Hong Kong, where you are so much used to. You will worry sometimes that you don't have energy to take care of your children academically. You don't know French yet. You know it's hard to go to school. So we offer that service to you, okay? We will help students to go through from the welcoming class to go to public school, and then help him to pass through the admission test, go to the best elite college, to be classmates of the family of Trudeau. We will offer you a visa. We offer you the planning and the tutoring of children, and also help all the parents to go to school with you. Sometimes you need to meet teacher who only speaks French, because that's French public school. She doesn't speak English at all. She's able to speak. She doesn't speak. So we will be with you. We translate for you, and then when you learn French, you could handle by yourself. Okay? You share a common language with your children, which is French. That's our 3-year program. In Quebec, we have a system. This system is called welcoming class. Okay? Welcoming class. Which means the Quebec Ministry of Education knows your children are not able to speak French yet. So, if the children were put in a regular class with classmates who already speak French, that's not good. The children needs a period of transition. So, that's a transition. Children of similar age will put in a single classroom. The teacher with French teaching experience, a second language, will teach students. They will probably teach mathematics with easy French, physical education in easy French. And then step up until the teacher feels this child is capable to join the regular classroom, and the teacher will let the child go to regular classroom. Okay? The child will be mixed to the classroom very quickly. And you know, for children who learn French by playing, by having fun, it's very efficient and quickly. Soon, you'll find the children become bilingual. So, the younger the children are, the more easily he or she becomes bilingual. And you will keep up studying French too, otherwise you don't share the common language. So the first step is we will help students to step out of the welcoming class as soon as possible. Under our tutoring, on average, each child will step out of welcoming class 6 months or earlier. We will invite the teachers who teach in the secondary or primary schools to teach the child. We have Chinese tutors help too. So usually they will step out of the welcome class sooner, six months earlier. And then they will go to public schools. Do we have to pay? No. Why not? We have study permit. Remember that? Step 4. You have study permit free of charge. So we go there free of charge. We have wonderful public schools too, right? If the child really wants to go to the top elite school, like those Trudeau families go, we will prepare the child to go to that school. And also, there's no one uniform test, admission test, because different schools have different principles and goals. They have their different tests for admission. And we all know their admission tests. We know your child very well. If the child is very talkative, we probably will say Jean de Brebeuf is the right one for you, because they focus on teaching leaders. If your child is silent, but is very enriched in your reasoning, so he maybe is a scientific genius, probably will go to another school, École Jean Eudes. So many graduates of École Jean Eudes goes to Stanford. So it depends on different students. Now I give you example. These are the primary schools, private primary schools. The best one, the class size. Okay. So, for example, Pensionnat Notre-Dame des Anges. It's very famous for not only the course but also activities. For example, it is famous for skiing. Why? So many parents send their children to this school just because of skiing. Why? Because this team is coached by Canadian national skiing team. Gold medal winners of Winter Olympics. Retired ones and the current ones, champions, will coach your child. How much do we pay? $400 Canadian dollars each semester. Why so cheap? Because these champions, they're doing volunteering job, which is very important. And your child will do volunteering job too, when he or she grows up a little bit. Okay, I do volunteering too. I go to the school for my child, and I give information to other parents. Everybody does that. Community. Also, we have Collège Beauvoir, musique, la musique. This college, in the primary section, they have a chorus. You know chorus? Singing together. They will go to big churches. They will go to, we have a church called Oratoire de Jean-Joseph. They will go to France to sing. But many of them will choose McGill Musical Conservatory when they graduate. They become professional violinists, pianists. So this is famous for musical. So it's all different. So that's a very typical weekly schedule. How many hours do they study? 25. These are basic subjects they have to study. All right? They have to study French and English, français, anglais, 2 languages. The week 1, math is taught in French. Week 2, math is taught in English. Week 3, back again in French. You know what I mean? Okay, 2 teaching languages. Not only teach English, but you have to learn other subjects through English and French at the same time. That's not what they do in Vancouver or in Toronto. They only do English. Trust me, if your child is young, when I say young, I mean it's younger than 13 years old. His brain is open. No matter you put 2 languages or 3 languages or 4 languages inside, he could take that. Trust me, that's the scientific result. If past 13 years old, I'm sorry, the door is a little bit closed. Until adult. When you study a new language, I think you will ask why. When you ask why when you study a new language, that means you're in a low efficiency learning period. Children learn language, never ask why. My child in the school, he never asked why. His best friend is from Mexico. The Mexico child speaks French, English, and Spanish. My child speaks English, French, and Chinese. My child speaks a little bit Spanish from him. And that small child speaks a little bit Chinese from my son. They could communicate with their baby talk, with their children talk. These are after-school activities. Okay, high school. Now, there are 67 high schools, the best high school in Canada. So I just want to show you some of them. First one, it's very long. It's quite a mouthful. It's a Jean de Brébeuf. This is where the Prime Minister family studied. You can see their alumni. What kind of talents do they teach? They teach talents with political career, law, medical staff, etc. Students in this school, they need to study Latin. They need to study Greek. In the summer school, they need to go to Italy to study Latin. Collège de Montréal, the oldest school in Canada. Canada was founded when? 1776. This school is older than Canada. When the United States was created, some intellectual people in Montreal said, we are more intelligent than these US guys. Why don't we have a country? So, these school graduates form a country, that's Canada. Sainte-Anne, this is a very musical, very artsy. We know Winfrey Opera, a black talk show. Okay, Winfrey Opera is a guest speaker, teacher in this school. Will come from New York to here to give them speeches. Never give up, have courage, etc. Okay? Marie-France and Stanislas. These are two French schools. When I say French, it means from France. So the graduates from these two high schools, they receive Quebec diploma and French diploma. They could go to France and have the diploma exactly the same as French system. Okay? And the next one, Jean Eudes, École Jean Eudes. As I said, there are so many Stanford students from this. We also have very good English schools. So don't worry if your child is 30 years or older. The French is still could be a very good second language. Maybe not mother tongue, but it's still a good second language. We have wonderful English-speaking schools. And you can see from the alumni. I think you know that, UCC? It's a boys' school in Toronto. Now we have LCC. The same thing, it's mixed. You know how much does it cost? If you have study permit, you receive free public education. But if you go to this elite college, if you have study permit, you only pay 4,000 to 8,000 Canadian dollars. Okay? Maybe English one is a little bit more expensive, but French one, 4,000 to 7,000 Canadian dollars. And if you choose the same level high school in Toronto, you're supposed to pay 40 to 50,000 Canadian dollars each year, 10 times. Why? Because the Ministry of Education Quebec will give money to this school. The minister tells them, never lower down the standard. Don't be afraid of recruiting those students. I give you money, keep your standard. Toronto doesn't do that. So I'll give you an example, this is Sainte-Anne, okay? We have 9 programs. We have the schedule. You see, this is science, mathematics. We have to study English. We have to study French. We have to study science, okay? I'll give you one more example. Défi Monde. Défi Monde is the leader of the world, okay? So we have to study French. We have to study English. We have to study Espanol, Spanish. We have to study Allemand, German. Plus, we already speak Cantonese or Mandarin. So how many languages do we speak? 5, 6. So if your child is gifted in language, this is the right one. He's very charismatic, full of charming. Speak many languages. Right? I'm very interested in, there's a course called leadership. They have to study leadership, right? They have to study leadership. Sometimes I wonder how leadership course is taught. I was very curious. So when I observed a primary school, I chose to observe a leadership class. I don't know how this class could be taught, leadership. So I went there. I thought teacher came with many small baskets and with many papers of different colors. He came in and gave the baskets to each student and in different colors paper to each student. And today's task is please do some little stars with this paper and put it in the basket. And they just did it. And then at the end of the class, the teacher said, okay, next week we will have this class again. So what you should do is to sell what you did to your neighbors, to your community. This is leadership. So the child went to sell. Like me, sometimes their children knock the door of my home. I open the door, the child will say, excuse me, sir, you probably speak French, okay? Excuse me, sir, I made some cookies at home. Would you please buy these cookies with $2, please? The money I earn, I would invest in our school's cafeteria. Did I refuse? No reason, so her $2. I could feel from her face a sense of satisfaction. She sold what she did. That's a great sense of achievement. I didn't know her, she didn't know me, but she sold it. So I could imagine these children, in 20 years, she became a very nice lady. He knocked at my door and said, hi, sir, I'm the representative of this writing. My party is a liberal party. Today, I think you may agree with us. The platform of reduced tax for middle class, to reduce carbon emissions, and to blah, 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 blah. To talk about the policies of her future parties. I give him the vote. It's the same thing. So the party elected, the head of the party became prime minister. That's leadership. Okay, so that's the core of Canadian education. It's whole people education. Academic records is only one part of it. When the students go to the biology class, they don't look at the book and say, okay, this is the plants, this is the root, this is a stem, this is a petal, this is a flower. No. They go to the forest. They take picture of the plants. They take the plants back home. They draw. They do research over internet. And they tell teachers and students, what is it? That's the biology class. Okay, so we have universities, we have English university, we have French universities. The reason why it's so cheap, because this. According to my knowledge, this figure is only lower than that of Finland, the number 2 in the world. Number 2, Quebec. Much higher than Massachusetts, Boston, New York, much higher. That's why we only pay 1/10 of that of other English-speaking provinces for the elite college. So that's why I think it's very, very high ratio of quality versus price. Okay. So as we have our special tools to monitor students' behavior, to record their time for study, and we will provide tutoring according to students' faiblesse en français. Ça dit que students' shortcomings. Yes, shortcomings. So students is not good enough in history. We'll invite teachers from school board teaching history. We'll ask the students, if students not good at mathematics, we will invite teachers to teach them mathematics. It's very specific. Basically, the two main concerns I think you have. One is how to immigrate to Quebec. The other one is how, in the process of immigration, how my child become competent in the Quebec education system. Yes. Thank you very much. Okay.